Hey platform, it's Becky Albertalli, the author of Kate in Waiting, which is about two theater kids who have a crush on the same boy. In honor of these two chaotic theater nerds, I'm going to be telling you about 5 YA books I think would be wonderful musicals. My first pick for a YA book to musical adaptation is Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. I love this book. It is about a trans teen who has to prove to his family that he is a bruja. In doing so, he ends up summoning a very cute ghost boy. One of the things that I think would be especially cool about Cemetery Boys the musical is to play around with the fact that Julian, the ghost boy, can only be seen by certain characters in the book. And that could be really fun. I think depending on how you would use special effects that I have no idea how to implement, you could, have moments in certain scenes in the book where when Julian is interacting with some of his old friends who cannot see and hear him, I think it would be possibly cool to either utilize voiceover or to have some kind of like special lighting over him to differentiate that. Yeah, I just would love to see how that is done. I think it could actually be really funny and really sad at the same time, which is kind of my favorite combination for a musical. Next up is Hot Dog Girl by Jennifer Dugan. It's about a girl who is trying to save the old amusement park where she has spent every summer. She's trying to save it from shutting down. She is a hot mess. She has a crush on a guy who works there, but she might be missing the real love story that's right in front of her. So I think you could have so much fun with the costumes. Like obviously Hot Dog Girl, you can see right on the cover, she's wearing a hot dog suit. Like that is her job at the amusement park. She's also a vegetarian, which is great. But other characters whose role in the amusement park is like the princess. Yeah, there's like a himbo kind of pirate. So I just like picturing all of these guys on stage brings me so much joy. My next pick for a musical is How to Be Remy Cameron by Julian Winters. A kid who is trying to figure himself out and just sorting through kind of some of the labels that have been placed on him by other people and just trying to sift through all of that and define himself. I picture this one as maybe more kind of like Dear Evan Hansen vibes. Remy's not exactly like Evan, but where you have these really powerful like ballad kind of songs. You'd have to get somebody who is a very strong singer. I think this would be one of those musicals where the music itself is amazing and probably like kind of challenging to sing, and I would probably sing it in the car all the time very badly, but I want it to be a thing. Next up is How It All Blew Up by Arvin Amati. Not only do I absolutely love this book, but I feel like I have a pretty clear vision for what the musical would look like. So basically, this book is told in 2 different timelines, really. So half the book is an airport where, you are actually watching like an interrogation. The main character is Muslim. There's a misunderstanding, pretty intense, and it is pretty heartbreaking at times. The other half of the narrative takes place in Italy, and it's sort of like flashbacks to a really just formative kind of coming of age, kind of a found family sort of story that that takes place just in this like beautiful setting. So what I picture for this is the main set on the main stage is like Italy, really softly lit, kind of like hazy, like pretty lighting and everything. And then you have like set off somewhere, either it's like kind of in front of a curtain somewhere or like on a platform. And then you get this like stark lighting for the like interrogation scenes. Most of my ideas are around the lighting for this one, which is a thing that I've absolutely never done before. I apologize to any lighting directors who may be watching this, and just feel free to sound off in the comments. I'm so sorry. Next up is Odd One Out by Nick Stone. So it's told in 3 points of view by 3 different characters, and there's it is really a a subversion of like the love triangle as we're used to seeing it in YA. I think it's like the relationship dynamics are fascinating between and among these characters. And I think it would translate so well to a musical, because I am just like, I'm picturing like a big number with the 3 main characters, like 3-part harmony, each one kind of under their own spotlight. I think you could have like some really cool dramatic staging and do some cool things like with the vocals for that. And then, but of course, this book is so realistic at times that I think there'd be like a cool contrast to just like have these sort of breakout parts that are very dramatic, and then to go back to just kind of a very like heartfelt, linear kind of story for most of the narrative. I love musicals. I love how central they are to Kate in Waiting. And many of my books, but I feel like Kate in Waiting is like just, musicals are so just integrated within the narrative. Like you cannot have this story outside of a like theater kid context. And I feel like that is so true to my high school experience. I cannot imagine what my high school life would have looked like without theater. Theater was just my entire world. When opening night was coming up, or it was like tech week, I'd be at school at rehearsal until, I don't know, like late at night. In my memory, it was like 3 a.m. That's absolutely not accurate, but it's probably like 8 p.m. But but you're there with your friends, and you are working on something creative, and you are pulling together all of these different elements, and everybody has their own role in it and their own type of expertise. And you've been working together on this project for weeks, and I loved everything about that. I loved the friendships that you made doing theater, and just how close you got with your existing squad, and what it was like to have a crush on somebody in the ensemble, or who was connected to the play in some way, and also like how devastating it was when the play had ended and you had to strike the sets, and it just like, oh my gosh, like the journal entries that I wrote during those times were really funny. That hit hard. So writing Kate in Waiting was a chance to revisit that and just get to sit inside some of those memories for a while. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and leave a comment letting us know if there are any books that you would like to see turned into musicals. Feel free to leave all the details too. I would really like to know. Like, I want to be able to imagine it. And don't forget to subscribe to Platform for more bookish content.